Earlier this week, you talked about how science, particularly astronomy and also nuclear science, confirms the message of Christ. Many people see conflicts between science and faith in Christ. Please elaborate a bit more.
Well, science is not static. Science is constantly developing, finding out new things. So sometimes, even in these times, Megan, during COVID pandemic, people say, well, the science says, well, I've seen science change quite a bit back and forth in different directions, you know. Lockdowns work, they don't work, masks don't work, now they work. Now
Mhm.
you need two masks. I see all kinds. So science is not static.
Mm.
And so my point is, I don't have any big conflict there in my thinking. And what I was saying is, by talking about astronomy, and I was showing in the vastness of the universe how there are things like that light surrounding a black hole that's trillions of kilometers away, how they can't explain it. So actually, that's the nature of science. They're trying to find an explanation. All I'm saying is we have an explanation. Jesus said, I'm the light of the world. God said, let there be light. So it explains why there is light in the universe, even where there's no sun to shine. So to me, science there, and many scientists, as you know, at a certain point in life, come to that recognition that anybody who thinks that science can explain everything really hasn't studied science.
Mm.
And so that's where I stand on it. It's not a conflict for me of understanding, or I can reconcile the two.
All right. Next question coming from Belinda. From time to time, I hear you give a very different interpretation of the end times than what I am accustomed to. You did it again this week, speaking about the victorious end time. So much of the teaching I have heard is very negative. Please comment more.
Yes, me too. Was it Belinda?
Belinda, yeah.
Belinda, I've heard all the negative stuff too. And so has Dean, I'm sure, sitting here. We have all heard that. And all I'm saying to you is, why do we Christians seem to be so eager to taking anything negative? As soon as something negative happens, maybe Vladimir Putin does something, or a pandemic is announced. Oh, it must be the end, must be the end, must be the end. Why do you think that's the end? That was my point, that Jesus never said in Matthew 24, this is the end of time. He talked about the end of the age. Even the book of Revelation, it doesn't talk about the end of time so much. Jesus, or it's spoken of in 1 Corinthians. It says, but Paul says, this is the end. Here it comes. Look at it, 1 Corinthians 15. This is the end, when all things will be put under the feet of Christ, and all things will be subject to God, and God will be all and in all, and Colossians, Christ will be all and in all. I'm saying it's a beautiful end time picture. And so the picture I am describing of the end time is much more like the one that is spoken not only in the Bible, but of those who came right after the first apostles, those records from the first and second century, a very positive end time vision. So I feel like I'm in good company there, Megan,
Very good.
even though maybe some people wish I was more negative. Do you wish I was more negative?
Oh no, we have too much already negativity. So in the world and all around.
Do you want to weigh in on this, Dean, here? What do you think?
I would say that a lot of the things I've been exposed to, some of the ideas, they are quite negative. I've never heard a positive one, except for the ultimate end time picture that you're describing.
And we're not denying the negativity. But remember, where sin abounds, God's grace abounds more. So it's no question of who's the victor in this. And that's Christ and we in him.